President Samia Hassan has appointed Gillard Terry to be Director General of Tanzania Investment and Special Economic Zones Authority. Tanzania Revenue Authority collects 32.26 trillion shillings for the year 2024-2025. Good evening, I am Teddy Mparanyanga. You can also follow us live via YouTube channel TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. President Samia Hassan has appointed Gillard Terry to be Director General of Tanzania Investment and Special Economic Zones Authority, according to a statement issued by Chief Secretary Ambassador Moses Kusiluka. The authority has been established following enactment of Investment and Special Economic Zones regulation. The law has made responsibilities of Tanzania Investment Center and Export Processing Zones Authority. The Vice President, Dr. Philip Mpango, has held talks with Deputy Prime Minister of Vietnam, Ho Duc Phoc, in Seville, Spain. Dr. Mpango says bilateral relations between the two countries have existed for more than 60 years, and it should increase in investment, agriculture, and business.
We have been supporting one another and will continue to support one another in international fora on issues of mutual interest. You talked about our trade relations. They are very good. We would want to do more with Vietnam on trade, on investment, in agriculture. We would want to continue collaborating in defense and security, and as I said, continue to cooperate in all regional and international matters.
In another development, Vice President Dr. Mpango held talks with Minister of Development in Denmark, Elizabeth Krohn, with the aim of strengthening good relations between Tanzania and Denmark.
We would like to have a Tanzania-Denmark business forum established where we could exchange ideas and identify investment opportunities. But otherwise, in terms of some of our priority areas, clean energy is one of the areas that we would like to focus on. I don't know if you are aware that our president, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, is the African champion of clean cooking. And recently we also held a major Africa-wide conference on energy, where we strive to provide energy to 300.
Dr. Mpango is in Spain attending 4th International Conference on Financing for Development. Meanwhile, Vice President Dr. Mpango has attended Least Developed Countries meeting that was led by Prime Minister of Nepal, Khadga Sharma Oil, and attended by some developed countries. The meeting evaluated implementation of the declaration of the 5th United Nations meeting of developing countries held in Doha, Qatar in 2023. And on to the next news. Tanzania Revenue Authority, TRA, has collected 32.26 trillion shillings for the year 2024-2025, which is equivalent to 103.9%. Speaking in Dar es Salaam, Commissioner General of TRA, Yusuf Mwenda, says the achievement is due to improved revenue collection policies.
Katika kipindi cha mwaka,
every year we review our performance every 3 months. The last quarter, from April to June, TRA was supposed to correct 7.9 trillion shillings. But by yesterday, we had already collected 8.22 trillion. That means we reached the 104% of our goal, with a 15% increase from last year. It's a big success.
TRA is supposed to collect more than 36 trillion shillings for the 2025-2026 financial year. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, says Tanzania will continue to cooperate with the Republic of Somalia in various fields, including the aviation sector, for the welfare of both countries. Minister Kombo made the remarks during the 65th anniversary of the Federation of the Republic of Somalia, held at the Somalia's embassy in Dar es Salaam, saying in the near future, Tanzania and Somalia will sign a memorandum of understanding through Air Tanzania Company Limited, ATCL, to establish direct flight routes from Dar es Salaam to Mogadishu, Somalia.
In addition, there have also been frequent exchanges of high-level visits, and I'm glad that during our official talks this morning, we also discussed ways to further strengthen cooperation and partnership. Don't be surprised if Air Tanzania will soon announce landing in Mogadishu. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised also if Air Somalia will land in Dar es Salaam. I wish to reiterate the government of the United Republic of Tanzania commitment to continue working with you, Minister, and your team, with your government, and we shall work more closely by increasing our communication and frequent visits.
On his part, Minister of Foreign Affairs in Somalia, Abdi Salam Abdi Ali, thanked Tanzania's government for its contribution in Somalia's welfare and accommodating Somali citizens in Tanzania.
Here, a living bridge between our two nations. Their presence and contribution to Tanzanian society reflect a regional integration that Somalia is naturally a part and now formally embraces as a full member of East Africa community. That was a big contribution for us.
These celebrations honor the historical relations that exist between Tanzania and Somalia. The High Commissioner of Uganda to Tanzania, Ambassador Colonel Freddie Musige, says young people are both the present and the future, and they have a critical role to play in the political federation and economic integration of the African continent. He urged them to aspire to build a united Africa, a vision held by the founding fathers of African nations. He made the remarks during the launch of the Africa Kwetu Student Association, an initiative aimed at instilling the spirit of Pan-Africanism and a future-oriented vision among young people.
Gives me hope that the dreams, the mission, the vision of our founding fathers like Mwalimu Nyerere, Kaunda, and current Museveni is not dead. It's continuing. And with full vigor, the youth are continuing with the struggle, and they have identified themselves to carry on the mantle of Mwalimu Nyerere.
Forefathers had a big vision, larger vision, but then they have done their best. Now it's the time for the youth to take over. For some of us, I said we are aging, we are leaving the scene, but then we want to live satisfied that we have left this in the good hands of the youth.
Youth attending the conference explained their role in African unity.
Only we who are living the youth, this spirit is resting on our shoulders, and we should rejuvenate it back into actions. And there is no way how we shall do this without connecting to one another. In other words, we are letting our African philosophy, the Ubuntu, dying. The Ubuntu encourages the unifying, working together.
The youth, we have a big role in the integration and the Pan-Africanism, as we should have awareness and we should understand the roots of which we're from, and that will help us have a strong foundation for us to build the integration in the future, for we are the future leaders.
Young people carry this generation and the coming generation. So when you nurture these young minds to believe in unity, they will grow up with that ideology of unity. And therefore, unity can be enhanced without restrictions, without bonds, without diversity in terms of race or in terms of ideas.
To delve deeper into the vital role of young people in promoting and upholding the spirit of Pan-Africanism, we are now joined live in the studio by Moses Kazimoto, who is the chairperson of Africa Kwetu, Tanzania. Welcome, Moses.
Thank you very much.
Okay, what does Pan-Africanism mean to you as a young leader? And how is an organization, a student-led organization like Africa Kwetu organization, translating that vision into action?
Okay, thank you very much. What does Pan-Africanism mean to us?
Yes.
Pan-Africanism is a spirit. Pan-Africanism is a mindset. It's an African-defined version of what we would love to call freedom, what we would want to call unity, what we would love to call peace. It's a perspective. It's a perspective that comes from our very own minds or our own spirits. So Pan-Africanism is the kind of mentality that we would love to adhere to. So we as the youth, or as Africa Kwetu, actually I always love to admit that we are not the pioneers. And as Colonel Fred Mwesigye, our dear ambassador from Uganda, says, we the youth are claiming the mantle. We believe that this idea, this ideology, has been passed down from generation to generation. And we are hereby, as the youth of this season, of this century, of this day and age, to claim this mantle and push forward the ideology of Pan-Africanism. And that's what Africa Kwetu is all about. We have chosen to be the youth in this generation, to be the people in this generation, to carry on this idea of Pan-Africanism, passed down all the way, since way back from the likes of Kwame Nkrumah, the likes of our own Julius Kambarage Nyerere. We've heard of the likes of Yoweri Museveni, and many others. So this is our season. Okay,
you have really elaborated how the young people play a role in promoting Pan-Africanism. But in your own perspective, what role do you think us young people right now play in accelerating the political federation and economic integration across Africa?
Okay, what role?
Yes.
One fundamental role is availability. Are we available? Are we united? Are we ready to stay attuned with this mindset, to stay attuned with this philosophy? Because the results or the effects thereof are positive. It has been proven. We've seen that kind of spirit fight for liberation. The African countries have been liberated due to that kind of mentality, due to that kind of philosophy. But then we haven't fully exhausted the fruits. We haven't fully partaken of the fruits of Pan-Africanism. So there's a lot still yet to be exhausted, a lot still to be partaken from this very philosophy. So what role do we have is, first of all, be available as youth in this generation. Secondly, to build capacity as the youth in this generation. Right now we are talking of by capacity building or building capacity. We could talk in terms of economic-wise. We could talk from the political-wise. We could talk from all dimensions of the human life. So availability, unity, and basically availability. And that's all we need. Yes.
Okay. The youth today, let's say the young generation, they seem to be more focused on individual success rather than a whole collective unity. How can African integration now, the spirit, how can it be installed in the young people?
Okay, we call that Ubuntu.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Ubuntu spirit, what the Ubuntu claims or says is that you are because I am, and I am because you are. So I think again, it goes back to capacity building. It goes back to that humility to learn, to that kind of humility, to learn from our forefathers, from people who have succeeded, especially, there's a track record of the likes of the philosophies from Kwame Nkrumah's, the likes of Nyerere, and many others. Of course, even the modern days, we have our very own people, the diplomats and all that. So we are because you are, and you are because I am. That kind of mentality, that kind of attitude builds unity amongst us. So we need to cultivate that kind of philosophy, that kind of mindset within the youth cohort, so that we can have the best future in place. So the future and even the current day and age depends on the availability of the youth, depends on their zeal, depends on the valor that they have in order to push this agenda forward.
Okay, and on that note, we are ending our interview. Mr. Moses, thank you so much. And I'm sure the youth have captured the message of Ubuntu. You are because I am, and I am because you are. Let us go to the next story. It's a major milestone for Tanzania's financial sector. The Bank of Tanzania has unveiled the self-regulation framework for Tier 2 microfinance institutions, ushering in a new era of decentralized oversight and improved governance. Speaking at the launch event in Dar es Salaam, Governor Emmanuel Tutuba emphasizes the new structure enables institutions to self-monitor compliance under a system that is both organized and legally recognized.
So members under TAMIU and TAMFI have been mobilizing themselves. They had an arrangement when they meet at least twice a year. But for us as a regulator now, we saw this could be a good forum where all microfinance institutions, they can meet and discuss together, come up with a solution based on the challenges that we have seen on the ground, and formulate regulations and continue to provide the loans to our citizens without having those challenges.
Tutuba urges microfinance institutions to take ownership of their operations, improve internal controls, and contribute meaningfully to financial inclusion, especially among the low-income population.
We'll convene meetings on quarterly basis where they will be discussing their challenges and find the solutions on the best way where they can lend money to our citizens.
It will be doing self-regulation of its members in doing what we are supposed to do in line to the regulation.
The launch aligns with the country's broader vision of inclusive economic growth, where access to finance is not a privilege but a right. Acting United States Ambassador to Tanzania, Andrew Lentz, says U.S. is impressed by friendly investment environment in the country. Lentz says he has visited Mtwara Port to see its performance before inviting businessmen from U.S. to invest in Mtwara region. On his part, Mtwara Regional Commissioner Patrick Sawala says peaceful environment attracts diplomats and other stakeholders to invest in that region.
Tumeweza kuongelea masuala mbalimbali ya kiuchumi, ya kimaendeleo.
We held meaningful discussions on the economy, development, and a wide range of investment opportunity in our region. A key part of our conversation focused on how investors from the United States can engage and invest in Tanzania. The ambassador expressed great satisfaction with the depth and the quality of our dialogue, and has committed to conveying this message back to the U.S. with the aim of fostering strong collaboration with the people from Mtwara.
The government spent more than 158 billion shillings to improve facilities provided by Mtwara Port. As Tanzania moves closer to the October general election, various political parties are stepping up preparations, including Chama cha Ukombozi wa Umma, popularly known as Chauma. Caroline Maleo has prepared the following report for Beyond the Ballot.
Founded in 2013, Chama cha Ukombozi wa Umma, popularly known as Chauma, is among Tanzania's registered political parties aiming to contest in this year's general elections. The party is chaired by its founder, Hashim Rungwe Spunda, who has led Chauma since 2014 and has twice represented the party in previous presidential elections. Prior to forming Chauma, many of its founding members, including Hashim Rungwe, were affiliated with NCCR Mageuzi. In fact, Rungwe was a presidential candidate under NCCR Mageuzi in the 2010 general elections before breaking away to establish his own political party. Chauma is built on three key promises: increasing national happiness, reducing unemployment, and revitalization of Tanzania's economy. In the 2015 general elections, Rungwe campaigned on a promise of government of accountability, national unity, and a stronger support system for low-income citizens. Among his notable proposals was the revitalization of Mwanza's economy through renationalizing struggling private companies, improving infrastructure, and reviving the cotton industry to tackle both poverty and joblessness. Chauma also envisions a long-term plan where education from nursery to university will be freely accessible to all Tanzanians, funded by the country's natural resources. Rungwe ran again in the 2020 general election, where his priority shifted to eliminating hunger, especially among children. His campaign proposed introducing children's feeding programs and expanding agricultural investments. During that campaign, he also proposed building a canal linking Dar es Salaam to Dodoma to ease the transportation of goods across the region, alongside calls to reduce government spending by replacing luxury vehicles with more cost-effective alternatives. However, one of his campaign gestures, offering meals of chicken and rice at rallies, drew the attention of the Prevention and Combating Corruption Bureau, which warned that the move could be considered voter bribery. Still, Rungwe has consistently maintained that Chauma's participation in the elections is dependent on fair and equal grounds for all political parties, calling for greater transparency and inclusion within Tanzania's democratic processes. Now, as the nation looks ahead to the 2025 general elections, Chauma is preparing to present its agenda once again, hoping to offer Tanzanians an alternative political vision rooted in public empowerment, economic reforms, and inclusive development. Caroline Maleo, TBC News.
In case you missed any of our stories, remember you can always go to our YouTube channel at TBC Online and watch anytime, anywhere across the globe. Before concluding the local news, let's take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Sports news up next. In sports news, Tanzania Sports Council Information Officer Najaha Bakari urges Sports Association to evaluate the performance of competition they have participated in half of the year and set news vision of doing better before the end of the year. Speaking to TBC News, Bakari added that in evaluating performance of the Sports Association, we'll be able to come up with new strategies for Tanzania to do well in local and international competitions.
I
want to remind our stakeholders to start making their plans now so that by the end of 2025 and as we head into 2026, they can begin thinking about what actions to take. Because without proper planning, we won't be able to achieve anything.
Tanzania professional boxer Idi Pialali says he doesn't have any plan of making the rematch with Mfaume because his standard is very high compared to his opponent. Pialali believes that fighting with Mfaume will lower his value and credit while he is planning to take on tough boxers in the international arena.
I was expecting to fight Mfaume, but it didn't go as planned due to the difference in ranking criteria. My rank is higher than his, so I'm waiting for him to move up to the ranks.
Idi Pialali says has played 49 matches, won 36 fights, 25 with technical knockout, and lost 10 times. And last time he took on Mfaume, the match was broken up. And that is sports news. And now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello there, this is 24 hours of the focus from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Starting from tonight, 9 p.m. For tonight, dry condition is expected over most parts of the country. And cooler temperatures are expected to persist over most parts of the country. And the lowest minimum temperature is expected to reach 8 degrees of centigrade over Njombe region, followed by 9 degrees of centigrade over Mbeya region. And now let us see what we expect for tomorrow. Wind is expected to flow at the speed of 20 kilometers per hour over Lake Victoria, Lake Rukwa, and Lake Nyasa, and at the speed of 30 kilometers per hour over Lake Tanganyika. And the state of the lake is expected to be slight to moderate. For northern coast, wind is expected to flow at the speed of 30 kilometers per hour, while for southern coast, wind is expected to flow at the speed of 40 kilometers per hour. And the state of the sea is expected to be moderate to rough. And Tanzania Meteorological Authority has issued an advisory of short period of strong winds reaching 40 kilometers per hour over some areas of the southern coast. So necessary measures and precautions should be taken. For Tanga, Pemba and Unguja ISOs, Dar es Salaam, and Pwani including Mafia ISOs, we expect particular condition, light rain showers over a few areas, and sun periods. For Mara region, we expect particular condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. And the rest parts of the country, we expect particular condition and sun periods. And now let us take a look of the next 4 days weather forecast. For Dar es Salaam, we expect light rain and sun periods. Dodoma, we expect sun periods. For Mbeya region, we expect sun periods. Mwanza, we expect sun periods. For Kilimanjaro, we expect sun periods. Morogoro, we expect sun periods. For Arusha, we expect sun periods. And that's all for today. Make sure to catch up again tomorrow. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Mariam Fares. Bye-bye.
That is all we have for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Teddy Mparinyanga. Have a lovely, lovely night.